Hey neighbor, it is cold in South Georgia. We are all bundled up. We got all the clothes we own, we got on. I know you guys find it hard to feel sorry for us. 19 degrees this morning, high of 40 something today. And I know a lot of you are facing a lot worse than we are, but we're just not prepared for it. Welcome to the Row by Row Gardening Show, the best dadgum gardening show on the internet, where we talk about gardening, a little bit of cooking, and growing your own food. Now sit back and enjoy. But we will move on. And today we're talking about what if you only had one bed? What if you had a small garden? What would you do? How would you maintain that? What would be your strategy if you just had one little garden bed?
It would be hard, but we're going to talk about
there's a lot of people out there that just have a little bitty,
4x8
raised beds or a little 20 by 20 garden spot. And the fact of the matter is you can grow a decent amount on that area. You coming out of these
places. It's hot.
Yep.
We were without electricity for about 3 hours this morning.
The coldest day of the year and our electricity goes off. But it came back on.
About 5:30 this morning.
Yep.
Did you ever find that one?
I did not. They was over there. I seen them working, so I didn't bother them. I just waved at them as they went on by. I didn't want to hamper their efforts.
It was nice when that heat
came back on. It came back on about 9-ish this morning, which was good.
Missed our coffee.
Missed our coffee today. Just ain't been right without a coffee.
Okay, if I only had one garden bed, and you're going to talk about if you only have one garden plot. So you want to maximize your space in this area. And I kind of got a diagram here of what it would look like. You want to hold that up while I talk?
Yep.
Some of the rules would be skip crops that take a really long time. So you wouldn't want to plant celery there.
Or you wouldn't want to plant winter squash, because a lot of your winter squash can take 90 days. And for heaven's sakes, you wouldn't want to plant Brussels sprouts.
You want to plant things that give you a continuous harvest, that you can harvest daily and have meals. We're going to assume this is a 4x8 bed. And one of the things you want to grow vertical on one end of it. Put your tall crops on the north side and your short crops on the south side, so they will not be shaded out. So if you had a 4x8 garden bed, can you hold that up?
I'm doing better. I'm following that on my job.
So vertically on the north side,
Vertically is free real estate.
Yeah. That's good, baby.
That's just free real estate going straight up there, ain't it? You don't need more room to pay for it. You can just go straight up.
Straight up. Pole beans or cucumbers, or I've done a mixture of both.
Loofah sponge, how about that? Those take up a lot of room.
That takes up a lot
I love
of
growing
room.
loofahs, but you got to have plenty of room. An old fence is best for them. They got to have room. I'm going to do better my job's to hold this today. Plant
once, harvest for a couple of weeks. In the middle of the bed, this is where you can put your repeat. So I would suggest tomatoes and peppers in the middle of the bed. Probably only 2 bushes of tomatoes and 2 bushes of peppers. And then at the bottom of the peppers is where the next row you can plant your basil, because it's not going to get that tall, and cilantro. And at the very end, you can plant some lettuce, and you can fill in the gaps with like onions. What do you think?
That's a pretty good strategy. I can tell you what you wouldn't want to grow.
What?
Watermelons, cantaloupes, any kind of vine and crop that take up a lot of room. You want to grow those crops that you're going to get the most bang for your buck in that small area there. And for short, as you said, it's short time, so you can flip them.
Yeah, and if you didn't want to plant lettuce, you could plant spinach. We have really enjoyed our spinach, haven't we?
We have. We've eaten more spinach. I ate spinach last night. And spinach is I believe it's my new favorite green. I know I'm going to catch a lot of slack on kind of that because I love collards so much, but spinach is good.
Yeah, I like the spinach.
It's got to be cooked in hog lard. Bacon grease. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, you can cook it all.
No, it's better. It's better than the hog lard, bacon grease. It's just
It's
better.
good in a salad too. A lot of people eat spinach instead of the lettuce. Excuse me. And the area where your lettuce or your spinach is, once it bolts, you can succession plant something else, so you can keep it going.
Yeah, if I also just had one raised bed, I would try to incorporate some indoor growing as well, because it doesn't take up much room if you do some you can grow some of your lettuces indoor, especially in the wintertime. You can do that. So that would take a little bit of pressure off of your one bed if you grew some of your, and you could grow a bunch of onions.
Yeah, little green
inside,
onions.
little green onions inside.
Just make sure, why this layout would work is the tall's not gonna outshade the short. You got,
Why the north, south, and why is that?
because of the way the sun shines,
It's because of the shadow
the shadow from
Yes.
the sun.
from the sun. It's really good, see?
Didn't have my coffee this morning. That was a good answer though.
Yeah.
That's all right.
The reason I know that is because we're in the process of putting up a new greenhouse, a commercial greenhouse. And my question of the day to the greenhouse manufacturer was, what's the ideal orientation of a greenhouse?
And
It is due north and due south. And the reason for that is you never get any shade in the greenhouse. I always thought the correct orientation was from west to east or east to west. Because when your sun comes up here and goes across the greenhouse, I would have thought that would have been the correct orientation, but the correct orientation is north-south.
so not, this would like north-south, no, it would be like this.
No, that's north-south, right there. So if we had north-south here, and the sun comes up over here, then you never get any shade there on the garden or the greenhouse, either one. I thought it was interesting, because we put our greenhouse up in Moultrie, we didn't do that, and I have a little area on the side there that gets a little more shade or sun. One side gets more shade, and one side gets more sun, and the plants dry out more on that little strip on the outside. So I want to make sure I did
So
this
you
one
didn't
right.
ask that question?
I did not ask that question last time. I did ask it this time. I knew there was an answer to it, but I thought I knew what the answer was, but I didn't. But I do now. Correct orientation for greenhouse is north, due south.
So if you're in-ground garden, and it's what, 20 by,
20 by 20. I have a little research garden, I guess you'd call it. It's 20 by 20. And I did it to see what we could plant there and
is
see.
that the one where our raised beds used to be?
It's
It's yours now?
yes, mine now. I've got 3 little small raised beds I bought from Home Depot in there. There's looks like a watering trough at the bottom side of it. These work pretty good. Then I've got 2 20-foot rows there. Then I got a couple short-foot rows, and I got a trellis there where I can grow, as you speak, cucumbers and things like that. And we can grow a lot of things there. However, we normally try to grow things that are smaller there that we can see how much we get out of. Now, I've grown cucumbers and squash, not winter squash, but summer squash there, and we have plenty. And then we can use the raised beds for other things. Mostly I'm using the raised beds for herbs, because you can get a lot of bang for your buck off herbs in a small area there.
You gonna leave that feverfew up there?
I'm gonna leave the feverfew. I got feverfew going up there now. But it's amazing how much you can grow just off a little bitty small area like that, like a 20 by 20. And I use the drip irrigation drip tubing on that right there, and I got it set up for my raised beds in my in-ground there, so I can just turn it on, water it all at one time, which is pretty neat.
Speaking of garden, what do you think this cold weather's gonna do?
This cold weather is wreaking havoc on our gardens. So we got down to 19 degrees this morning, which is the coldest we've been this year. And they're speaking of another 19 degrees this coming week. We're probably going to see a little bit of damage in the teens. When we get in the teens, we start seeing potentially damage. Now, one thing to note on these temperatures is, not only is it important how cold it's going to get, but it's really important how long it stays that cold. So if we get down to 19s and we don't stay there long, we're not going to get near as much damage. But if we get to 19, then we've got to sustain 3 or 4 hours there, we can get more damage there. The number one best thing you can do when the cold weather comes in is to water. And you want to water for 2 reasons. Number one is, normally we have wind associated with these fronts that comes in. And when we water, we keep that sand and we keep that dirt compacted down so it don't blow around. We get a lot of damage from sand and little particles of dirt blowing around in the wind hitting our leaves. So it helps with that dramatically, but also it hydrates those leaves. And people don't understand how much difference it makes when you hydrate those leaves and have a well-watered plant versus one that's stressing a little bit. When the cold weather comes in, the damage is dramatically different. So that's the number one thing you can do, is to water plants. Now our onions, we have quit pulling for the most part. We're pulling a few TikTok orders, but for the most part, we have quit for the last couple of days, and then for the next week or so, we're going to pause our harvesting because I just don't think it's good for you guys to be planting in these cold weathers. First of all, you can't hardly get out there and do it. Second of all, you probably don't need to. So we're probably going to pause for a good 7 to 10 days, let this front move out of here, and then we'll get back at it. We probably won't get any damage on our onions at 19 degrees. You'll probably be okay as well.
I did cover mine.
Yeah.
I got a little jittery there.
Yeah, anything below 15, I start getting really worried about. But up to that, you can get, your top can get looking a little rough, but they'll be fine. They'll bounce back. On some of our greens, we do, when we start getting in teens, we start seeing some damage on those.
The spinach had some damage from last week. So yesterday I just went and cut it off even.
Yeah, and some of our things that celery has done pretty good. I'm amazed how much the celery's held up.
Yeah, it got a little bit back from the last one, and the Brussels sprouts did.
Yeah,
I did put some straw over them.
Straw, a little light blanket. Don't use a heavy quilt because it's got too much weight on it if it was to get wet. A light blanket or the best thing's a row cover will help insulate those plants a lot. Make sure you pull your filter regulator combos out of the garden and put those up so that they don't freeze as well, because you're probably not going to need them much. But take them off. I pretty much drain my garden this time of the year, my water lines and everything. So we're hoping for the best. I'm ready for springtime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever wanted spring to come as bad as I do this year.
You say that every year.
I know this year just seems to be worse. And we've had a drier year. It's just been an unusual year. I don't like this so dry, and our ponds need refilling, our creeks and rivers need refilling. We just hadn't had any rain. We can't get any rain in these we've had cold weather since 1st of November. Mm-hmm. So I'm tired of it.
What have you got growing in the greenhouse?
We got a lot of weird stuff growing in the greenhouse. We've got some new trial and varieties of broccoli, cabbage, and things like that we're growing. I even got some stevia growing. It's got burnt back a little bit. I got celeric that I need to transplant out. Yeah. Do you know what celeric is?
It's where you eat the root.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that in the Netherlands.
We did. I got some weird things like that we're growing.
Mountain mint.
Mountain mint. We got mountain mint growing out there. Just all kind of weird. So we got some flowers coming up.
Mm-hmm. Some
But
asters.
I had to run the heat all night last night. Turned it off about 9 o'clock this morning. It's just troublesome keeping everything in this cold weather. So, but we're doing the best we can. We're gonna push forward, and hope is warmer days ahead. All right. So, folks, if you got a small raised beds, or if you know somebody that she give you some good information this morning on how to do just one raised bed to get started. If you want to do in-ground, start out with something like a 20 by 20. I have found that to be an ideal size that most people can accommodate and that you can grow a lot of stuff with.
But do vertical too.
But do vertical in it as well, yeah, absolutely. All right, so this week, and this is a little uplifting right here. This week, we have Garden Spotlight.
And it is Harvey and Cathy Carver, Zone 10A, Auburndale, Florida.
And look at those beautiful, beautiful sunflowers. Man.
She says since she's retired, she's given garden a serious attempt. She's thoroughly enjoyed planting hundreds of Hall sunflower zinnias in her backyard and sharing the beauty with others.
Yep. Well, Tonya, I can honestly say I think you have succeeded.
Yeah, she said she had such success, she moved from her backyard to her front yard.
Yeah, look at those colors there. That is just a beautiful sunflower. I love that pure yellow color there. All right, and this week's winner of the Hoss bobblehead The siding was from last week. For last week, you've sided the house ball head, and you put in the comments below. We're doing that drawing today. Next week, we'll do the.
He's getting ready for Valentine's Day.
Is he? Yeah. He has a romantic side to him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh, excuse me. I got Tonya mixed up with Cathy on the garden there. Tonya Welch is the winner of our bobblehead. Tonya Welch, 6038. Thank you, Tonya. Send us your information to.
support@growhouse.com.
And look there. Beautiful Get Dirty socks, Tonya. We'll get them mailed out to you. Yeah, Cathy and Harvey Carter.
I said their name.
I know, but I missed it.
You messed it up?
I messed it up. Yeah, down in Auburndale, Zone 10A. What a beautiful sunflower garden. All right, folks, we will survive. We're going to push through this cold weather, and
We got another 10 days of it?
at least. We got another 10 days of this particular cold spell that's running through. We will push through, and we'll get through it. Brighter days are ahead. Thank you for watching.